I'm just going to talk about a little bit of preventive eye care and then the hot topic at present, gadget use in children, because every parent has this complaint. So preventive eye care includes including a good diet for children, a few healthy eye habits, to see what warning signs of eye issues in children, and then regular eye exams. So a balanced diet which is good for your child will be something that's rich in vitamin A, lutein, zeaxanthin and omega-3 fatty acids. So if you're giving your child carrots, eggs, spinach, and if you're non-vegetarian, giving fish in diet, these are all good things which you can give in diet which improve eye health. Now, healthy eye care habits include, make sure that when your child is reading something, it's in adequate light. A lot of kids have the habit of lying down in the bed and reading. That's not good. Make sure that they're always sitting at a table with adequate light and they're reading. Now, when you go outdoors, if you have a small kid or a toddler, it's always good for them to wear like a hat or a cap to prevent exposure to harmful UV rays. And in little older kids, using sunglasses when outdoors is good. Then also increase time spent outdoors rather than making your child have a habit of always being indoors and spending a lot of time on gadgets. And what is responsible gadget use? I'll come to that in the next slide. So these warning signs, if you have a child who's squeezing their eyes when they have to look at things in the distance, frequent rubbing of eyes, or they have watery eyes, holding things very close to their eyes when they have to look at objects, and then like she said, a squint in one eye. That's very important because you would have your parents at home who would tell you that squint is a sign of luck, and it is not. So if you have a child with a squint, that's a warning sign that there could be some problem with their eyes. And like Aloka has already told you, if you have a child with a head posture, either a tilt to one shoulder or a face turn to one side, these are also warning signs. So now refractive errors in children, these are of three kinds. That is either myopia, which is called short-sightedness. You could have hypermetropia, which is long-sightedness, and astigmatism, which is also called a cylindrical path. So I'm just showing you a slide to show you what exactly vision in children with these disorders would look like. The first picture which you see is normal vision. In a child with myopia, like you can see, things in the distance are blurred while things close by are clear to them. That's why it's called short-sightedness. And the next picture is hypermetropia, which is also called far-sightedness, where these kids will have more problem and they have to look at things for near than for distance. The other common refractive error is astigmatism. That's commonly because of an irregular cornea. So this is how a child, the picture on your right shows you how a kid with astigmatism is going to see objects. So what are the causes of refractive errors? Like Aloka has already mentioned, it could be hereditary if it runs in the family. Apart from this, if your child was born premature, that is less than 35 weeks, or born with a very low birth weight, needed ICU admission, or developed a condition that is called retinopathy of prematurity and had to undergo laser treatment, all these kids are at risk of getting refractive errors. Then if a kid has bad eye habits, where like they spend a lot of time on gadgets, doing near activities, reading in dim light, frequent rubbing of eyes, all these can also predispose to developing refractive errors and also eye injuries. Yeah, so this is how an ideal world we would imagine where kids are outdoors and playing. This is what today's reality is. Every kid is glued to gadgets all the time. Yeah, I'm just coming to that. And I think children are not to blame, adults are to blame, because right from the time the kid is a baby, that's what they're going to see, both parents with gadgets, and when they grow up, that's how it is. Everybody is in their own world with gadgets. Next. So now, what does extended screen time do? So in a short-term period, it's going to cause a lot of eye strain, headache, watering, redness of eyes. But in the long term, it also increases the risk of getting myopia, that is short-sightedness. So what happens is, the longer time that you spend on screens, the eyeball is going to increase in size. So that increases the risk of getting myopia. And in kids who already have myopia, it will cause the progress to occur more rapidly. Apart from this, it also causes behavioral issues because the kid likes to be involved in that world what they are seeing in the laptop. So it's going to, social skills are going to get affected, the language development. It also can cause stress, anxiety in these kids, and also it disrupts their sleep pattern. So this is a very important slide. So below 2 years, it should be absolutely zero, the gadget time. Now in the time of the pandemic, where like if you have a small baby and your parents, your siblings couldn't come to see them, is it okay for them to see the kid on a video call? Yes, that is fine. But as your child's going to go older, don't try to distract them showing them gadgets till the age of 2 years. That's very important. It should be zero. Between 2 to 5 years, 1 hour is okay. Beyond the age of 5, probably 2 hours, but it has to be monitored, the time that they are on gadgets. So now in the time of online classes, this is important, like less than 3 years, no gadget time for them. Then if it's between 4 to 6 years, around 1.5 hour classes is enough. Provided they have like a break which is of 15 minutes between the two classes. For a 7 to 12-year-old kid, around 3 to 4 hours with adequate breaks. And between 12 to 16 years, 6 to 8 hours is supposed to be good time, not more than this on gadgets. So some tips that you could follow, because most kids nowadays are having online classes. See, first, the first thing is like probably if you have to choose between your child seeing classes on the mobile phone or a laptop is a better option because a larger screen will cause less eye strain. And you can also adjust the brightness of light on the gadget. You can increase the font size. And make sure the kid is in adequate lighting. Very dim light, very bright lights are not advised. But in good ambient light, the child should attend the classes. Head posture of the child, that's important. Now normally the screen should be at least 30 inches away from the child's eye and at least 4 to 5 inches below the eye level of the child. That is supposed to be the recommended distance from the eyes at which the gadget should be. So that is when you look at the posture of the child, no slouching, that is very important. And then make sure your child is hydrated. So it's a good idea to keep a bottle of water next to your kid and make sure they are drinking water while they are attending classes. And one option is probably you can have an anti-glare screen protector. Now I have a lot of parents coming and asking me, we have these blue filter lenses which are in the market, should we get them for our kids? There is actually no scientific evidence that says that blue filters help. So probably just a plain anti-reflective coating in glasses or on the computer screen would help the kids. And the 20/20 rule. So some good gadget screen practices would be, most important thing is in young children, gadget use should never be unsupervised. Parents should always be aware of what your kid is doing on the internet. And probably it's a good idea to make screen time productive, because you can't tell a kid that screen time is 0, you cannot watch gadgets. That's not possible in today's world. So try to make it productive, like probably they're going to watch some educational video, or like you can take a museum tour online, something like that which benefits them and also holds their interest. And 1 hour before sleeping, it's mandatory that all gadgets are switched off, because it disrupts your sleep pattern, not just for children, even for adults. So it's a good practice to switch off gadgets. And also non-screen activities, like probably the family doing something together, like gardening, and now in lockdown, like baking together. These are good things that you can do. And another thing, what a lot of parents ask me is, like once our child has glasses, can we give them something in their diet which will cause the glasses to go away? Actually, there is nothing that you can give in the diet. Once your child has glasses, they need to wear it. There is no dietary supplement which will cause your child to get rid of glasses. Also, alternate things like you can read online. Parents say that there are yoga classes, eye exercises which will help gather your glasses part to go. It doesn't work. All these are just hearsay things. They will not work. You will have to use glasses. Thanks.